Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Hump Day Yoga with MimiLumi Presents. My name is Mimi. Today's practice will be a slightly shorter vinyasa flow and reasonably gentle, and we'll be finishing off with a meditative practice of sensory withdrawal rather than our more traditional Shavasana. Just to broaden and deepen our practice really, and to hopefully allow you to explore some more avenues of the yoga path that perhaps you've not explored before. You won't really need anything particular today other than perhaps a blanket or a cushion to pad the knees if you know that you have sensitive knees and you find that helpful. But otherwise, let's start. Okay, so we're actually going to start today in our downward facing hero posture. So we'll keep toes touching together and then take knees quite far apart, maybe even slightly wider than your mat. Beginning with hands in front of the pelvis. Inhale to lift and lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, begin to walk those hands out, laying the forehead down towards the mat and reaching forward with the fingers. Now, if you find it hard to bring your forehead all the way to the floor, you can instead place it onto two stacked fists or maybe just one. And then we're going to hold there for a number of breaths. So obviously we're still warming up. Maybe we can't find that sense of ease in this posture just yet. So let's use our breath to help bring us there. So that as we exhale, we encourage those muscles around the hips and the groin, lower back, and buttocks to soften and release, so that you can surrender a little bit more deeply into the posture. And as you inhale, there's a sense of reaching forward with the fingertips, but without bringing any strain or tension into the shoulders, neck, or face. Exhale to surrender. And inhale to feel a sense of openness through the body, ribcage expanding, muscles of the intercostals in between the ribs stretching. And just holding there for a few breaths. Notice and become aware of your energy levels today, how you're feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally, knowing that this will affect the quality of your practice. And if you can feel external distractions or any noisy thoughts beginning to bubble up in the brain, acknowledge them, but just place them to one side for the moment. Try not to let anything intrude into this moment that you've created for your practice. Good. Steady, even breaths in and out through the nose. And if you'd like to have an intention for your practice today, whether that intention might be internally focused into you, or perhaps it's an intention you'd like to send out to a loved one, a friend, or just the universe as a whole. Take a moment to let that intention rise in your mind and in your heart center. And see if you can carry it with you into the practice. On your next inhalation, let's look forward slightly in between the hands. And then as we exhale, we'll take our hands all the way over towards our right and then rest and relax back down, drawing your forehead towards the floor. We want to see if we can reach the left fingers a little further towards that top right corner. And then as you exhale, have a sense of almost actively pressing through the palms of your hands to encourage the hips and the buttocks to soften towards the heels. And as you breathe in and out, you're feeling that really lovely stretch through the whole left side of the torso. Good. Inhale to look forward once more. Exhale, take the hands all the way to the opposite side now towards the left corner. And then again, we relax through the neck and the chest, drawing the forehead towards the floor. Reaching right fingertips this time a few millimeters further towards that corner. Really feeling that stretch right from that right armpit all the way through the torso. Let your exhale surrender you a little bit more towards the floor. And then inhale, once again, we look forwards. take those hands back in towards our center alignment, and exhale, walk them back in towards the pelvis. Bring your knees back into a neutral parallel alignment, and we'll come to our tabletop hands and knees. If you know you'd like to pad the knees with a blanket or a cushion above your mat, feel free to do so now. Good. So we want our knees to be directly underneath our hips, starting off with hands directly underneath our shoulders. Now, before we move on to any movement, just take a second to really spread those fingers wide and encourage the press of every part of your hand down in towards the mat. Good. And then we'll take a couple of little walks of the hands, beginning to warm up through the wrists, so changing the angle of where the fingers are pointing to, alternating between bringing the hands closer in towards the knees and the body or further out. And you can maybe go a little bit asymmetrical. Relax through the back of the neck. And all we're doing here is beginning to stretch and warm up a little bit through the wrists and really just awaken all those tiny, tiny little muscles that run through the hands and the wrists and the forearm. So there's no real right or wrong here. Try not to lock into your elbow joints too much, but otherwise just move where you feel a good sense of stretch and opening. If you feel any sharp pains, of course, ease out. And if it feels nice to bend the elbows a little bit, to take that stretch a little bit more up in towards the shoulders, feel free to do so. Good. Just a few more breaths in your own time. Staying active through every fingertip. And then when we're ready, we'll come back to our neutral tabletop, hands directly underneath the shoulders now for a few rounds of our cat-cow. So as we inhale, we tilt the tailbone towards the sky, draw the chest forward and lift the gaze slightly. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, arch through the spine, chin to chest, curving into cat, really actively pressing through the palms of the hands. Inhale, reverse that motion now, keeping your abdominal muscles switched on to protect your lower back. Good. Exhale, we tuck and curve under. And then just continuing that flow in your own time. Inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. And then once you've done this a few times in our more traditional alignment, if you want to take a little bit more of a free form animalistic Bidalasana, feel free to do so. Whether that's changing the angle of the head, maybe it's crunching the torso from side to side, maybe it's even bringing the weight forward into the hands and circling the hips a few times towards left and then towards right. There's no right or wrong answer here again. Just try to keep actively pressing through the palms of the hands so you're not sinking or collapsing down too much. And make sure you don't lock into those elbow joints. Keep a little micro bend there if you need. Good. Slowly easing out of this animalistic flow now. You might need to readjust the hands if you need to. Tuck your toes under as you exhale, engage through the core muscles and just hover those knees off the mat for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Softly lower the knees back down towards the mat. Good. Untuck the toes. From here, moving through some ab curls and extensions through the legs. So when we're ready, we'll inhale to take our right leg up nice and high, pressing out through that heel. And then as you exhale, the knee comes to the head and the head comes to the knees. You curl through the chest. Inhale, extending out through that knee, really pressing out through the back heel, making sure it's not rising up above the hip height. Exhale, we curl. 2 more times in your own flow. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl. So you can continue to actively press through the palms. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl. This time as you inhale to extend, we're going to hold here. And then we're going to drop that left foot down towards the mat. Now you can take either our supported side plank, so we keep the left knee down, and the right leg's extended behind. And we can turn to bring right fingertips up towards the sky. Or if you want to take your full side plank, we adjust so that the left leg comes underneath the right and we stack. And really lift the hips up high so we're creating almost like a banana shape. You can choose to hold this here as a static posture, or you can take it as a flow by exhaling to lower down and then inhaling to come back up. You can do this in the supported variation as well. Obviously it is more challenging through full side plank. One more time. Down, and then inhale up. Exhale, take your hands back to full plank, and then softly lower those knees back down towards the mat. Let's just Take a quick extended child's posture, just to ease off any pressure you might be feeling in the wrists, and again to soften a little through the spine. And then inhale, we come back up to tabletop to move through those ab curls again. So I'm just going to change my direction so I'm ready for the planks this time. This time we're taking that left leg up nice and high. So inhale, left leg up. And again, notice that my heel isn't going past my hip in height. Exhale, we curl. Inhale to extend and lengthen. Keep the back of the neck long, so you're just looking at the floor. Exhale, we curl. Seeing as though you're almost trying to kiss that knee with the lips. Inhale to extend. Exhale to curl. One last time. Inhale, extend. Exhale to curl. Inhale, we extend, and then we slowly lower that left foot down to the mat. And then again, you can stay in the supported variation with the right knee supporting you on the mat. And again, you can still take that flow here, but when you lower down, obviously your weight's coming back more towards the back of the heel. And then inhale to come back up. Or we're stacking this right foot underneath the left, coming to full side plank. If you're holding in a static variation, maybe you want to bring the hand so it's pointing to the wall that your head is reaching towards. And then exhale, we lower down if we're taking the flow. Inhale, we come back up. Exhale to lower. Good. Inhale to come back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to come back up. And we bring that left hand down towards the mat, full plank. Exhale, let's press back into downward facing dog this time. Adjusting the feet as we need to and the hands until we're in our most comfortable downward dog position. Working on rotating the shoulders out and up the spine. And focusing on sending the tailbone up nice and high. Heart center working towards the thighs. Knees can be bent. When you feel steady here, you can begin to walk through your dog. Alternate heel presses. Left heel comes to the mat as right knee bends. And then we swap over. Right heel comes down, left knee bends. Move as fast or as slow as you walk through the dog as feels right for you. Make sure that you're still relaxing through the back of the neck and pressing actively through every pad of the hand. Good. After your next heel press, inhale to the balls of both feet, working to a slightly higher downward facing dog. See if you can take your tailbone another 0.5 millimeter higher to the sky. Imagine you glued it there in space. And then as you take your next exhale, take an audible sigh out through the mouth and let the heels melt really effortlessly towards the floor. Good. Moving through a simple vinyasa flow here. We'll inhale forward to our full plank. I'm just imagining that we're arching a little bit through the spine. And then exhale, we press back to downward facing dog. Inhale. This time we drop the knees towards the mat, opening up through the heart center into a variation of our cow, lifting the gaze slightly. And then exhale, we press back up. So we move through that same sequence as before. Inhale forwards to full plank, pressing up through shoulder blades. Exhale, we press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, opening up through the heart center as we softly lower the knees. A little bit of an extension through the spine. Exhale, we press back. Good. 2 more times in your own flow. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. Inhale, release the knees, open through the heart center. Keep your abdominal muscles switched on here to protect the lower back. Exhale, we press back. One last time. Think of coming up and then over. Up and then back. And then we're snaking through the chest to extend. And then exhale, we come back. Good. Moving on, let's inhale our right leg up nice and high. Exhale, scoop through the belly. Draw the knee towards the head so you can lightly land the right foot at the top of your mat. Exhale, ground down through the left back heel. And then inhale, we're coming straight to Warrior Two. Good. Once you're in your Warrior Two, just make sure that you can just see those right toes. If you need to walk the front foot a little further out, feel free to do so. And knees stays pointing out over the toes. Exhale, we lower the hips towards the floor. Thinking of the tailbone coming straight down, while the crown of the head lifts and reaches up. Try not to open up too much through the chest. You want to have a sense of the rib cage drawing in to meet at your center. Energy out through fingertips, and if we can, we're looking out over the right arm. Good. Wrap that energy through the back of that left leg, outside edge of the foot, drawing down towards the mat. We'll take a gentle flow here. Inhale, look, bring that front palm up. Inhale to reach forward and then up, and then exhale, come back into our reverse warrior. Relax through the back of the neck. Inhale here to hold. Exhale, we come back up. Good. Next exhalation in your own time, we're going to drop this elbow, right elbow down into our side angle posture, Parsvakonasana. Working left hand straight up to the sky. We're creating a diagonal line from fingers to toes. Good. Keep thinking of rotating your heart center open towards your left as you continue to externally rotate through the front leg and draw the pelvis a little closer to the floor. If it feels comfortable, perhaps the right fingertips reach down towards the mat. And then we'll take this whole sequence as a flow. So we inhale to come up. Exhale to release into reverse warrior. Inhale to come back up through warrior 2. And exhale to come to side angle. So just continuing to take this as a flow. Inhale up. Exhale to soften back. Inhale to come back up. And exhale to release into side angle. So you'll notice that my hips and my legs are not shifted. It's just my torso here moving through this sequence. So you want to feel a little bit like your seaweed flowing in the current of the ocean. And your legs and your pelvis are the bedrock where you're grounded. Good. One more time. Inhale up, exhale to soften. Inhale up, exhale to release. Good. And this time we're taking that left hand and we're just going to draw it straight down towards the floor. Bring the right hand to the outside edge of the right foot. Equal through that back left heel. And then press back into downward facing dog. Good. Feel free to hold here in your downward facing dog if this feels right for you in your practice today. Keep thinking about rotating those shoulders out and then up the spine. So there's lots of space for the neck and the ears. If you want to take a vinyasa flow today, let's inhale forward to full plank. Weight forward into the arms. Exhale. Lower hips so they're just hovering off the floor. Inhale to a variation of your upward dog. Actively pressing through those palms of the hands. And then exhale, we press back into downward facing dog. Good. Preparing to take this same sequence on the left. We inhale the left leg up nice and high. Exhale, really try to actively draw the knee towards the head so you can lightly land the left foot at the top of the mat in between the hands. Ground down through the back right ankle this time. And then inhale, windmill you up to a warrior 2 with the arms. Again, take the time to adjust the feet if you need to. Walk the left foot further out, perhaps. Make sure if you're drawing a line from the front heel to the back foot, the line should intersect the arch of your back foot. Again, rotating towards our right. Energy reaching out through fingertips. Maybe we're looking over the left arm if it's comfortable for our neck. Deep breath in, exhale. Can you soften the shoulders as you soften the pelvis as well, closer to the floor? Lovely. Moving through the sequence slowly to just warm in up into it. We turn the front palm up. We inhale to reach forward. And then up. Exhale, we soften to reverse warrior. Take an inhale to hold. Make sure you're not putting too much weight into that back right hand. Exhale. Inhale. We come back up to our warrior 2. And then exhale lightly. The left elbow releases onto the thigh. We bring that hand either straight up or diagonal line. Just depends on what's more comfortable for your shoulder today. Drop that pelvis a little deeper towards the floor. Open the heart center towards your right. Soften through the face, neck, and jaw. Perhaps left hand reaches down towards the mat, just at the front of that left foot. And then again, we'll take this little seaweed flow. So we inhale to come up. Reaching the left fingers towards the sky. Exhale to soften back to reverse warrior. Inhale, we come up. And then exhale, we release into our side angle variation, whether that's elbow or fingers to the floor. Inhale up again, seeming as though you're trying to reach for the stars as you come back up. Exhale to soften. Inhale up. Exhale, side angle. Good. Keep your neck soft, your gaze relaxed. Wherever you end up looking. Legs and pelvis strong and grounded. And it's just the torso and the arms moving. One more time up. If you reach a little higher, exhale, we come back down. Good. Take your right hand back down towards the mat. Release through the back right heel. Left hand frames the outside edge of left foot. And then we press back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out here. And again, perhaps we would like to hold, just enjoying building endurance in this posture. Opening up through the whole back of the body. Or maybe you want to move through that same vinyasa flow we did just before. Inhale forwards to full plank, weight forward into the arms. Exhale over the hips so they're just off the mat, toes stay tucked under. Inhale to a variation of your upward dog, broadening through the collarbones. Exhale, we press back into downward facing dog. Good. Wonderful. From here, we're going to walk or perhaps jump our feet in between the hands to come to our standing forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale to a halfway lift, whether that's fingertips on the mat or hands to shins, whichever feels more comfortable, whatever is in the range of the back of our legs. And then exhale, soften back down. Full Uttanasana. The knees can bend once more. The focus is more on belly reaching towards thighs and the crown of the head relaxing towards the earth. Let's take a few nods and shakes of the head here just to release any tension you might be feeling. And then as you exhale, bend the knees even further, engage through your core muscles and begin to slowly roll up through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhaling out, shoulders and head last as you come to standing. Good. Let's work in our traditional Tadasana today, toes touching, heels slightly apart. Really spread those toes wide. Engage and activate through the thighs. Lengthen the crown of the head up towards the sky. Take hands to prayer at heart center. Let's take 3 expanded heart breaths. Inhale. Opening up through the heart center and the collarbones, reaching the hands behind us in space, palms wide. And then exhale, we come back. Feel free to close down those eyes. Inhale, big open extended heart breath. And then exhale, we soften back. Last time, make it your longest, deepest breath yet as you inhale, open. And then exhale, soften back. Close down those eyes if you haven't already. And just take a moment to check back in with your breath and your body. Notice the warmth that you've already built up. Notice where your balance is resting through the soles of the feet. And if there are any unnecessary tension you might be holding around the face or the jaw. Gently reopen the eyes, release those hands. Moving into our dance posture now. Bringing weight into this left leg, we bring the right leg up, reaching around with our hands to grab onto the foot. And we want to draw the knees together while thinking about dropping the tailbone towards the floor and still engaging and lengthening through the spine. Beginning to warm up and open through the front of the right thigh. Now, if this was quite tight or if you're feeling a little wobbly today, feel free to stay here, or you can come to a wall for a little bit of balance. If you'd like to move into the dancer's posture, we do so by inhaling left arm up towards the sky. And then as we exhale, we actively press through the right palm with that right foot to lift the leg a little high to the sky. Woo. Really engage through those core muscles. And we want to think about lifting up rather than folding forwards. Good. Few breaths here. Soft gaze, maybe looking at the focus point just ahead of you. Keep drawing that left kneecap up towards your hip. And then when you're ready to release, exhale, we draw the knee back together. Release the hand and softly release the right foot back to the floor. Feel free to give your supporting left leg a little bit of a shake. Just to release any tension that might be feeling there. And we'll come into the same sequence again on our left. So weight comes into the left leg this time. Sorry, right leg this time. Doing the same thing again. Left leg comes up behind you. Draw those kneecaps together. Again, take a second here. Find your focus point ahead of you on the floor or the wall. Soften through the face and the shoulders as you begin to open up through the front of that left thigh. Again, feel free to stay here if you want to keep moving. We inhale the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, press the top of that left foot into the hand and let it guide you up rather than thinking over. Keep engaging through that supporting right leg. Think about almost trying to plant the sole of your left foot up onto the ceiling. That's it. Hold for a few more breaths. Don't beat yourself up if you take a wobble or fall out of the posture. And then when you're ready to release, we exhale to guide the knee back. Release that left foot. And then again, the right leg can have a little bit of a shake this time. Coming back down towards the mat, we'll roll through the spine once more. Tadasana of your choice, either feet together or feet hip width distance apart. Inhale to reach those arms up to the sky. Avastasana. Exhale, begin to roll down through the spine, a little bit of a bend through the knees. You come down vertebrae by vertebrae, releasing back to Uttanasana. Inhale, maybe taking another little halfway lift. Exhale, we soften and fall back down. releasing the crown of the head towards the floor. Good. And simply continue to bend the knees so that you can soften and release into your toe squat. And then we'll come to sit onto our floor or onto our mat in our row posture. So as you come into your row posture, you might like to sit up on the edge of a folded blanket or a cushion. Just make sure you're sitting right up on the edge of the cushion or blanket, so you feel like you're almost about to fall off. Once you've situated yourself, feel free to walk the flesh out from underneath the buttocks so you can really feel the sitting bones digging down either into the mat or the prop. Pressing out through soles of feet, toes reaching up towards the sky. Good. From here, we're going to come into our sage posture. So let's start by bringing this left leg in, and it can either stay on the inside edge of the leg or it can come to the outside edge. Whichever option, just make sure you can still feel both of your buttocks evenly pressing down into the floor. Now today, if you have any lower back pain or pregnant or menstruating, I'd like you to take an open twist here, which means you're going towards your right as you twist. But otherwise, we can move straight into the closed twist if we're feeling hunky-dory fine in the lower back. We don't have any other health indications. By taking this left hand behind, inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, you're either going to hook the elbow onto the outside edge of the left knee, or you're going to wrap the elbow. Just depends on what feels more comfortable for you or accessible for you today. Inhale to go a little taller, and then exhale, deepen the twist. Turning to look out over that left shoulder. We'll hold here for a number of breaths today. Keep active through that supporting right leg as well. Feels like you're pressing the sole of the foot against an imaginary wall, and you're pressing the left sole of the foot in towards the floor and in towards your mat. Have a sense of spiraling energy moving through the spine. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Every exhale is a chance to see if you can deepen that twist, even just 0.5 millimeter, perhaps taking this right eye to look towards that far back corner. Good. One more deep breath in, and then exhale, softly unwind from the twist. Use your hands and arms here to bring that left leg back over, and then extend it long. If you need to readjust through the buttocks, feel free to do so. You're sitting nice and tall and straight. Now, right foot comes in. And again, it can stay on the inside edge if you prefer, or it can move onto the outside edge. But make sure you can still feel both bottoms, buttocks pressing into the mat. Again, feel free to take the open twist, twisting now towards the left. If you have any pain through abdominals or lower back. Otherwise, though, we can take the closed twist. So right hand comes behind me, inhale, left arm up towards the sky. And again, as you exhale, you're either hooking the elbow on the outside edge of the right knee or you're wrapping. Just depends on your preference. Inhale to grow a little taller, and then exhale, deepen the twist, turning to look over the right shoulder this time. Good, hold there for a few breaths. Test yourself on this round. Can you take this right hand off the floor without feeling like you're going to collapse or shift out of the posture? So you're really just using it as an anchor point rather than a way for you to deepen the twist or to move into the posture. Inhale to grow a little taller, back of the neck long. Exhale, deepen the twist, looking over that right shoulder. Maybe this time the left eye can turn all the way towards that far back corner. And because we're in a closed twist and the belly is quite tight to the thigh, make sure that you're breathing in towards the lower back and the back of the spine, so that you're still taking really nice deep breaths in and out. Good. One more deep breath in, and then exhale. We gently unwind from the twist. Use your hands to bring that right leg up and out and long. We'll move into our Paschimottanasana. So engaging through the thighs here. Keep thinking about drawing those kneecaps up towards the hips. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, the core muscles and abdominals contract, and that's the trigger which brings you forward into the fold. You go as far as you can before releasing the hands onto the legs, wherever that might be for you today. So that could be up around the knees, could be shins, could be ankles, could be toes. But make sure you're not pulling yourself forward with the arms and letting the shoulders hunch up by the ears. We want to stay nice and open and broad through the chest, soft heart center. Really, there's not much going on in the arms beyond, again, them being an anchor rather than a mechanism to pull you into the posture. Relax through the back of the neck. Find that first point of resistance, that edge, and hold there. Use your breath as a way to begin to soften and open. Good. Close down those eyes if that feels comfortable and right for you. And acknowledge the difference in this stretch for you. Sometimes you might be able to move quite deep, maybe other times not so much. No, that's okay. No, it could just be maybe we're not as warm as we were the last time we practiced. Maybe you're feeling sore and tight because you've been exercising a lot. You've got a lot of lactic acid building up in the body. Become mindful of where you feel the tension the most. Is it in the back of the legs, or is it through the back of the spine, back and neck? And perhaps on that third or fourth exhalation, you'll be able to soften a little bit deeper without ego leading you to push too far into a point of pain or discomfort. Holding for a couple more breaths. And then to release, inhale to look forward between those toes. Exhale, let the hands slide up the legs. Draw the feet in towards the buttocks. Wrap those arms around the knees as they come to your chest. And then exhale, forehead rests on the knees. Pause for a few breaths there in your cosmic egg. Letting your weight roll back onto your tailbone so there's a slight curve in the spine. To come out of cosmic egg, we inhale to lift the forehead back up off the knees. And then we're simply going to come into a easy sukhasana, easy cross leg. Adjust if you need to. If you don't want to be on the prop or the blanket anymore, you can take it out to the side. And we're going to actually finish today with a more meditative practice rather than Shavasana. Sorry. If you prefer Shavasana, if you want to lie down, you can. But I just thought it would be nice to maybe finish a little differently today. So adjust as you need to, make sure you're nice and comfortable. And if that means you'd like to come so that your back is resting up against the back of the couch or a bed or a wall, please feel free to do so. Just to recalibrate the spine really quickly once more, let's inhale, hands in Anjali Mudra. Exhale, take that little bit of a twist towards your right. Release the right hand behind you, left hand hooking around the outside edge of the right knee. Inhale a little taller, exhale, deepen the twist, looking over right shoulder. One more deep breath in, and then exhale to soften and unwind. Inhale to grow tall, exhale, we twist this time towards our left. Left hand behind, right hand on the outside edge of that left knee. Inhale to go a little taller, and then exhale, deepen the twist. Pause for a breath in, and then exhale, simply unwind. Taking those hands to rest on the knees, whether that's palms down or palms up. Have a little play with what feels nice for you. Some people prefer to feel like they're grounding with the palms of the hands down. For others, you might prefer to have palms up, so you feel a little bit more open to bringing in the energy of the room, and also it will naturally encourage you to just open a little bit through the collarbones. And then softly close down the eyes. To close the practice today, we're going to play with a rotation of consciousness and sensory withdrawal. So to begin, we're actually going to cast our awareness quite wide. So have a little reach out through the senses and notice and become aware of any noises that you can hear externally. So that's noises right out into the street. Maybe you can hear a bit of traffic. Maybe you can hear some trains. Maybe it's just the sound of the breeze moving through the trees. Maybe you can hear the sound of conversations of your neighbors. Sounds of construction. Maybe there's some animal noises. Try not to hold your awareness too strongly on any particular noise or sensation. Find it and then move on. So it's a sense of continually scanning through that external space. Noticing these things but not latching on with attachment. And then when you feel that you've explored all that external noise, all the avenues that are outside of this room, bring your awareness a little bit closer in. Becoming aware of the sense of the floor beneath you and the ceiling above your head, the four walls that surround you, the distance between yourself and those walls. Becoming aware of the quality and the texture of the air as it caresses your skin. Feel warm or cool? Is it dry or a little humid? And notice any noises that might be occurring naturally within your room. Whatever soft, subtle noises that might be. And again, try not to latch onto any of them in particular. Just keep rotating that consciousness around. And when you feel that you've explored the room in its entirety, bring your awareness closer in towards the body now. And you're aware of the contact points of your hips, legs, ankles and feet to the floor beneath you. And similarly, you're aware of the contact points of your body to body. So where can you feel the skin of your legs touching other parts of your legs in Sukhasana? You're aware of the sensation of your hands resting on your knees, but equally the sensation of your knees pressing up into the hands. Noticing the sensation and the texture of your clothing. It rests on your body and caresses your skin. You feel where the hair on your head is resting. So gently touching your ears, forehead, back of neck. And then we bring the awareness even deeper, moving it now towards the breath. Notice and become aware of the breath, moving in and out through the body, through that nose. Inhale to feel the cool air enter your body. And exhale, notice the warm air leave. Feel that gentle movement, your chest and your torso, as it opens and expands and lifts outwards on the inhale. And that sense of softening and surrender on your exhale. Spine long, head above heart, and heart above core and pelvis. And then we'll take the awareness even deeper now, so that it's resting somewhere in or around your third eye center, that space in between your eyes. And as you hold there, with your awareness resting in your third eye center, you might feel a sense of warmth or texture or light resting at the third eye center. But we're not actively trying to visualize or imagine anything. We're simply holding our consciousness there. At the same time, if a thought or an image does bubble up into the mind, don't chastise yourself, acknowledge that. But see if you can withdraw your senses even further in, even away from your mind. We'll take a few moments here. Then to release from this meditation, we begin by unfurling the senses back out. Unfurling the senses from the third eye towards the breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. Once again, recognizing that exchange of cool air and warm, and feeling the body rise and fall with every inhale and exhale. Become aware again of the sensation of your clothes and your hair. What parts of the body are contacting other parts of your body? And what parts are contacting the earth beneath you? Become aware of the sensation of the air around you in the room. Become aware of the floor beneath you, the four walls that surround you, and the ceiling that rests above your head. Notice once more any noises that you can hear within your room. And then take your awareness all the way out now so that you're noticing any other noises or sensations that you can feel in your house as a whole or beyond your house. Any noises from the external world. Passing your awareness all the way back out. And then with your eyes still softly closed, let's bring our hands to prayer at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Bow our forehead down towards fingertips. Take a moment to truly thank yourself for taking the time out of your day to come and practice yoga. But also to extend gratitude to all our teachers that have shared knowledge in the past, for anyone who might be joining you in this practice, even if it's not in this moment, sharing this virtual space with you. And I'd like to conclude the class with one chant of the mantra Om. You can join in simply by listening. But if you'd like to chant with me, we'll synchronize our breath by all exhaling here. And then taking a deep breath in for Om. Ground yourself at the end of practice. Take a moment to bring the hands down towards the earth and bring the forehead towards the earth. And relax through the back of the spine. One last little moment to surrender to the universe and connect to the earth. And then inhale to lift back up, lift the gaze. Thank you for joining me for the practice today. Shorter vinyasa flow, a little bit more focus on our meditation at the end, which I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about anything that we practiced, please feel free to ask me in the comments. And if you liked the video, do please hit that like button or hit subscribe. And I release new videos every Wednesday at 9 AM. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you again soon.